Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal Round podcast. I'm Ronaldo McKenzie. This episode is entitled Riding in an Uber with Darline from Haiti, rapping about Hertz, Uber, Tesla, Haiti's challenges and ethnocentrism. Again, this episode is entitled Riding in an Uber with Darline from Haiti, rapping about Hertz, Uber, Tesla, Haiti's challenges and the issue of ethnocentrism in the world. I called an Uber to take me to pick up a Tesla today. That's when I met Darline from Haiti, who is now a US citizen, living in the US and driving for Uber. She talked about the experience working with Uber, but she was also just returning from a visit to Haiti, and we talked about what's happening in Haiti. She was quick to point out the challenges in Haiti, saying there's a lot of problems. The people aren't united, which seems to be the problem of the Caribbean. The inability to come together, to share and work to build. This selfishness, learned probably from colonization or within human nature to fight over scarce benefits and spoils, has dogged the island. Yet, when asked what can be done, she could not provide any answers, only that the people need to be more united and that the president was just killed as a result of him being branded an American mouthpiece. American penetration in the global South Islands are not well known in the US by its citizens. We only see what others are doing, but Haiti has endured several setbacks due to penetration of outsiders, but also due to the damage done to it by themselves. Haiti was one of the first to obtain independence, the first among black peoples that was freed, but made the mistake of trying to colonize Santo Domingo or Dominican Republic, the DR, who shares the island with Haiti, or the landmass with Haiti. Indeed, at one time in Haiti's history, they had colonized another country after they were free. But this was transient, and this created a history of bad blood between the two countries that share the same landmass. Dominicans, or DRians, who took back their country through partnerships with the Europeans, took on whiteness and was forever an enemy of Haitians or their black brothers and sisters who had tried to dominate them. So that today, many Hispanics from that region cannot identify with a race, only an ethnicity. We explored the dynamics in Haiti briefly, speaking with Darline, and shared a personal experience while exploring life and society. We were perplexed about Russia's invasion and the boldness with which men invade and plunder other men and nations without apology and conscience. This ability to destroy peoples and leaving it up to diplomacy to resolve while the people suffer. The human condition has become so tarnished by self, the id, the ego, the superego, but more so the id, and a privilege that justifies its injustices on other peoples in the world. We pray for peace, and that God will uproot men like Putin, who unleash evil without mercy when they too need God's mercy. And even now I pray, let them become aware of the ills they do by realizing the plight of men they plunder and doom. May that be their lot, O God. May you rescue Ukrainians and all who suffer at the hand and might of callous, angry men who through selfish desires and myopic reason seek to establish power for themselves and the few. May you grant Ukraine favor and the weapons to stand up against evil men like Russians. May you bring others to their aid, O God. May you stop the war and bring destruction on those who fail to heed your warning and hate against hatred. For what is the ultimate of all things? That we become one with reality, with all of our individuality, so that we are so that we are not labeled into negation. In the name of that which nothing greater can be conceived. Amen.
So how long have you been, where are you from?
I'm from Haiti.
Oh, you're from Haiti.
Yeah.
What's going on in Haiti these days?
Only God. Only God knows. I don't know.
Yes.
Our country is upside down. We have a government problem.
You have
That's why.
a government problem.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by government problem?
Like the politician.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Corruption. They have
yeah.
Corruption. There's a lot that's going on. Even in Jamaica, they were talking about corruption.
Yeah, but
yes.
You know me, I don't know anything about the politician. I don't know anything
yeah.
about the government. But
yeah.
the only thing I know, my country is upside down. My country is so bad for now.
What's gonna change? What's gonna change? What's gonna change it? What do you think is the solution to fixing the problem?
I don't know because they refuse to unite.
To unite?
But only that.
You mean the people?
Yeah.
So unity is part of the problem. This unity.
Yeah.
Is that part of the problem in terms of black and brown communities and so on? This, especially those countries. This inability to unite.
So the problem is the party. It's the party.
Political.
This party want the power. That party want the power. So they fighting each other. So I don't know.
You know, that was a problem. That's a problem in many Caribbean countries.
Yes.
Political infighting, fighting against parties, and that has. And I remember even in Jamaica and in Trinidad and Tobago, with in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, this kind of fighting for power.
Yeah.
Between political groups. You know, it's as if they don't know how to disagree without violence.
They killed the president, you know.
Yes, they killed him. What's the name of that president they killed? Yes, I heard that they killed him because they said that he was a mouthpiece of the U.S. Is that true?
I don't really know because I don't know anything about that, you know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Do you give back to your country? Do you send money back to Haiti and so on?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but all my family is here.
Okay. Are you happy that you came back? I mean that you came to the came to the US.
Because I think they don't give people any opportunity.
No opportunity. They don't. Wow, they don't give any opportunity. But do they have any opportunity to give? Do they have resources and stuff?
Yeah, but even though you finish school, you have a diploma, you cannot find job. There is no job there. That's not good.
Yes.
There is no opportunity there.
Right. Is that the feeling of many Haitians?
I don't know, but for me, it's like that.
Yeah.
Because when I was on my country, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
You feel like working, there is no job.
Yeah. Oh wow.
No job, you know?
Yes. Wow. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And thanks God, my parents.
Yes. So in a sense the US represents kind an opportunity, hope.
Yeah.
Yes. That's so nice. So you said that your country is up and down and you're hoping for the best, but you don't know what's gonna help.
I don't know.
Have people given up?
They said that, but I don't really know. You know, I'm not involved in the politics. You know, I don't know anything about that country.
Yes.
Because,
So do you think that's part of the problem in terms of
maybe
people have become so apolitical, and especially when you leave the country, that's it. You've moved on from it. I mean,
yeah.
what about the realities of those who've been left there and so on and so forth?
There's no life.
Oh wow. Yes.
There's no life. You know, now so many people left Haiti.
Yeah.
They go to Republic Santo Domingo. Yeah,
Oh wow.
So because of insecurity.
Yeah.
So oh my goodness.
Using the second lane from
So
the
bad.
right exit
So
328BA toward US. Highway 202 Westchester, then keep left.
What's the exchange rate now between Haiti and the US? The dollar, the US, the Haitian money and the US. One US is how much Haitian dollars?
For now.
And then
For now.
yes.
$1.
Left lane, keep left.
It's
In a quarter mile, keep
$1
right toward US. Highway 202
$30.
Southwest Chester using the upcoming middle lane.
in my money. $1 it costs $30.
Just 30? That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, one US is if you were to send one US to Haiti and they were to change it, how much money would they get in Haitian?
$30 for one. It's only $1. $30.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of my most powerful podcast episode yet. It is. And while editing the podcast, I listened to it from start to finish. One of my first time I really sit down and listen to the podcast from start to finish before I released it. And I was cutting it up and then moving and seeing what part I'm gonna put at the beginning. But while it was powerful and it was moving, it moved me, and it's gonna move people, anyone who listens to it. The podcast lifts up several questions. The podcast answers these questions, or from the podcast, there's several questions I developed while listening to it. There's a conversation I'm having with an Uber driver who's taking me from my home to pick up a car in Westchester, a Tesla. Her name is Darline. She's from Haiti, and I titled the episode "The Drive with Darline from Haiti" on Uber with Tesla, Haiti's challenge, and so on and so forth. But there are much more because I lift up several questions, at least 6 questions. The first one is, why is it better to rent a Tesla than to use your own car or a gas car for rideshare or to do Uber?
That's the first one, and I talk about that a little bit. The second one is, yes, what is, and the second one is, what is the ultimate of all things? Because I delved into that a little bit with my conversation with her on the ride, which was about 45 minutes. The third one is, how can we live side by side, given our differences of opinions and perspectives? I answer that question. The fourth one is, why do many peoples of Dominican Republic, why is it that they don't identify as a race, more so as an ethnicity? Again, why do many people of Dominican Republic descent, why is it that they do not identify as a race, but more so as an ethnicity? And the next question is, why don't the Haitians unite? And I talk with her about that when we look at what is Haiti's problem. Why don't the Haitians unite? And the last one is, what is Haiti's problem? What is Haiti's problem? And of course, I present a powerful message towards the end. A powerful message in my conversation. It's quite a powerful podcast. Please listen to it. It promises to be powerful. It promises to be moving. And I also share some personal insights about me that many of you might not know about. Listen to the podcast. This is the Nail Brown Podcast. I'm Ronaldo McKenzie. It's better to rent your car.
It's better to rent my car.
It's better to rent than to use your own vehicle, buy your own and use your own vehicle. If you drive, if you do it full time, or this is your gig, why would you use your personal car? Because first of all, you are packing on miles.
I know.
And then there's wear and tear. Because, I tell people you have to think about it in the long run, not the short term. In the long run, you are paying more out of pocket with your own vehicle because you have to pay that. I mean, the car is losing value. The maintenance, you pay a lot more for maintenance than if you weren't doing it full time. Now, but when you rent a car, all that is taken into consideration. You don't have to worry about maintenance at all. You don't have to worry about miles and then resale value and so on and so forth. When you rent a car, you just pick up and you drive and drive and drive. And if you drive, and if this is what you do, if you work 40 hours, if you drive 40 hours a week, like a regular job, 40 hours a week with a rental, you are paying less overtime than if you were to use your own vehicle. If you use your own vehicle, overtime in the yes, because in the long run, over time, and now you have Tesla. If you can rent the Tesla, get the Tesla, because first of all, you don't pay for gas, and now they give you the home kit where you can go home and plug up. You don't have to pay. You can. That's why I'm getting the Tesla. Yeah.
No, you can charge it at home.
Yes, I charge mine at home. I park in the garage and plug up. Sometimes they give you the charger kit, and you just plug up. So first of all, that's the next thing. Think about first of all, if you do rent and you rent, if now they're giving you the opportunity to rent an electric vehicle, you're even paying less. When I mean less, people don't realize they think because people don't think about things, people don't measure things properly. But just think about it. You get a Tesla, so you're paying $70 more or $50 more. $50 more? Let's think about it in terms of gas. I used to have a regular gas car. Oh my God! Every time you make money, you always deduct gas. You deduct how much money you pay on gas. You don't say, okay, I made $500 today. How much you pay on gas? Or this week, minus $200. I'm telling you, minus $200. Gas is a lot. You pay every 2 hours is $10. I'm being honest. Every 2 hours or 2.5 hours doing Uber or 3, and if you fill your tank of gas, fine, it lasts you for 4 hours, 5 hours maybe. Okay, You get a full charge, it lasts you for 12 hours.
Right?
Yeah, 12 hours, 16 hours on the Tesla. You get a full charge the whole day. And then you go home and plug up and you sleep and you can get a little bit more travel if you want to faster. And you take the charge with you. So if you go somewhere and they don't have if you are stranded and they don't have a gas station or a charger station or whatever, you can go to somewhere and say, hey, let me borrow your, go to a gas station and park up somewhere and plug up and charge your car quick. I'm telling you, it's convenient and and you're paying less in terms of, you're not paying for fuel, and you don't have to pay for, maybe you pay. Yes, you have to think about it. You're paying in the short run. In the short run, it seems as if you're paying, but no. In the long run, you're paying. I'm telling you, you're paying far less when you rent. If you drive, if you work part time, or you just now and then you get up and do a little Uber, and you're concerned about your mileage and it's your car, and you're concerned about wear and tear and resale value of the car, then yes, don't. If you're concerned about all of that, then that's fine, and you're not doing Uber full time. Then you're not gonna. You won't need a rental, and you just use your car because that's something you do every day and so. But if it's something you do on a regular basis, you're packing on more wear and tear and stuff. Get a rental because when you rent the car, probably they say you pay $400 and $500, $600 a month for a car. I mean, if you get a rental, you pay probably per month. You pay, let's say for. By the way, it's cheaper now to rent through Uber. If you do ride share, they're giving you $100 off, $76 off incentives. So it's really costing you about $300 and something per week. If you pay $300 and something per week, that's $369.
Yeah, I was paying
$12.
$250
per week.
per week.
$50. It's far less now. You don't pay that much now.
Oh, now it's better.
No, I'm telling you, Mom, because people complain about it and things improve. They said no, excuse me, we are doing rideshare and it's costing us all that money. And so I think it's a drop now. They're providing you incentives. So it's much cheaper now to rent. I used to drive. I never use my car to do. I never use my car. I used to have a BMW and I used to be concerned. I'm using your car to do Uber. I'm concerned about I'm packing on all those miles and I'm like, to be honest, I don't want to do that, So I said, okay, I rent, but of course you're paying much more renting. But the thing is, in the long run, you're not going into your pocket to pay for maintenance and for wear and tear and for service. You're not doing that. You're not doing all that. So that.
When you went, because when I went, it was only 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was only 3 weeks. But when your car need maintenance, you just take it there.
I'll make a slight left turn.
Yeah.
Well, you need your car need maintenance.
Well, yeah, you just they give you a voucher, you take it, and the voucher pays for it. They don't charge it for maintenance at all. When you rent, you don't think about it because in a sense it's included in what you pay per week. It's included in what you pay per week for the rental. So that's why the rental charges are high because it includes the money that you have to pay over time and some. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do it. You're not selling back the car. You just take it back and they give you another one. You do that, and if this is the kind of thing that you do on a regular basis, then yes, it all goes well that you want to rent a car, you don't want to use your car if you do it regular. Like now that you're going to be doing it regular, now you're doing this. The next thing, this car has a problem, you're going to have to go get a rental and wait for this car to be fixed, and then and then once it starts to develop problems, there are issues. So if you have a rental,
because when I returned the car, they took $400 from my account. Even though I returned the car on Friday, I paid. I paid. And then they took $400 again from my account.
Well, Pumpla, sometimes you have to check the bill. You have to check it and then call the billing department. Because sometimes the people at the local office, they mess up a lot. They don't know what they're doing. Which one you went to, Essington?
No, yes.
Yeah, the Essington, they're kind of weird, crazy. They don't know what they're doing. The young people that they have in there, they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they overcharge you, so you really have to look at your bill and see what they're putting on there.
I didn't know what to do, but I lost the money. I said, why they keep charging me? I paid the weekly money and then they charge me again.
Oh, probably.
Charge me again. I said,
Okay. I think what happened is that when they charge you, they don't really charge. They just put a hold on your account. That's all they do. So you might think that they charge you, but they don't charge you. They put the money right back into your account, and then when you return the card, that's when they charge you. So that's the thing. That's the next thing they don't tell you. The people have to look on your account. Sometimes you go to your account and say, "Oh, where all that money come from?" So when you go to pick up the card the first time, they don't really charge you. They just hold the money in your account. Okay, so when you go, and if you extend from week 2 and then week 3 they extend, but the money goes right back in your account, and then when you go return the card, that's when the money they charge you. So probably that's what happened. You may have thought that they charge you, but they didn't really charge you as yet, because or maybe it's a strategy they like when that happens, because then they charge you fees, and so I don't know, maybe it's a thing that they do, and many people aren't aware of that, and it gets a lot of people into trouble. But because I do other things, because Uber is really a side gig. I do other things in my life. I teach at college. I'm doing my doctorate at and I write a lot. I read. I do research. I run a business as well. I like doing Uber because it allows me to engage and to do research and to engage the populace and to do anthropological studies and talk to people. I find it quite anthropological. I meet people from all walks of life. And I also talk about my business. I find it quite powerful. It's a powerful platform, Uber. Doing Uber is powerful.
What kind of business?
I say. But the name of my company is the Neoliberal Corporation, and it is a think tank. And it's a digital media company in a sense. You talk about digital people. There's been much talk about digital media lately. Talk about TikTok and social media. So it's kind of, if a social media it utilizes social media to promote academic inquiry about, because I'm an academic. I write a lot. I'm involved in philosophical thought, philosophical inquiry. So the company it's a digital company, and I use the platform to write my papers. I have blogs, research, and we also provide research capabilities. We do research paper writing capabilities, or we provide that kind of solutions to people. We also do search engine optimization. We build websites. I have a partnership with another company, with my nephew's business called Ant's Business Solutions, and we build websites for others. We haven't developed that yet. I've written a book, and I'm writing several other books and doing several other projects and journals and so on and so forth. Provided, excuse me, because I'm all about facilitating development, facilitating growth, facilitating thought, facilitating critical thinking. And much of the resources, much of the things I offer is free. I have a podcast, which is available all over the world in every platform you can think of, audio or video. I'm developing my video platform right now, kind of building the brand. I'm building my brand, and so on and so forth. So I've written one book. I'm working on another book about to be published with another professor of mine, who's a retired professor, but he Professor Emeritus. He's written several books, and he's one of the influences in my life, and his ideologies, his ideas. He's a student of Trotsky and Karl Marx, and I have that kind of bent, but not, I'm neo-Marxist, but in a neo sense of the word, because I also have a very religious bent. I grew up in the church. I embrace Christianity, but I also embrace all religions. But at the same time, I believe in the individual. I believe everybody must find their own path. I believe that people must work out their own salvation, their own faith. But I said that I have accepted Christianity as my religious frame, the lens with which I operate in the world, the consciousness. But I'm not limited by it, because there's a lot of man-made influences. A lot of man has influenced the ideas of Christianity. So in a sense, so I'm a critical thinker. In a sense, I used to be a pastor, so of course, and I believe in God. I say, for example, I said I believe in evolution, but I still also believe in creation. And the kind of when I talk about evolution and creation, just the Bible says, "Oh, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." Do you believe in that? Yes. But do I also believe that in Darwin's theory that man could also have evolved from a more primitive primate, from Homo erectus to Homo sapiens, or whatever the case might be? And I say, yeah, because God could have endowed the earth, the universe, with evolutionary capabilities, so that it takes on a particular shape. Because there are gaps in human history and thought. We don't know much, and we're just ants, we're just insects in this vast world. So, so I think in those ways, and I write in those ways, and I don't take anything for granted. So, what I take, so if you believe, if that's the kind of thing that I believe, I cannot accept what's going on in Russia. I find it quite upsetting what's going on in Russia, just to sit down and see it happening. It's like it's normal, and the way how the world is, and he bombed, and the next thing a couple of days ago, he bombed this city, and then he wears his shirt and tie and three-piece suit and create problems in the world for other people. And I mean, how can people sit down and then people try to defend it, talk about, oh, the West? I don't care what the West is doing. These people have. Why do people have to be violent to promote a particular kind of ideology, to impose a particular kind of ideology in the world? These people, Ukrainians, that's what happened with slavery, and they justified it using the Bible. That's what I'm telling you. That's how men are. In fact, the Bible don't talk about it. They justify the Bible. They say that the Bible justified slavery. Because in the Bible, yes.
Wow.
But then what they did, that was a stretch, because what they did was they said that, oh, and who are slaves? Black people are slaves. They enslave a whole. Okay. But this is how they did it. They tied it with the theory, the pseudo theory of race, because there was no such thing as race in the world before the 1600s or the 1500s. There was no such thing as race. Okay, it was a creation. And it was one of those theories that was developed, like the Darwin theory of evolution, or the theory that people developed that was not accepted as part of science, but it became accepted as part of science because the status quo of the day, okay, the leaders of the day who were about to embark on the slave trade, okay, the slave trade, wanted to justify the slave trade in reason, in biology, and in biblical, in religious ideology, in Christianity, because the thing is, how could Christian people who promote Christianity and love and so on enslave a host of the people, uproot them and demean them and treat them as savages? How is that even possible? How can civil society do that? They could have done that because what they did is that they appealed to the Bible, where it says, oh, that people have they were slavery. There are people in the village. Jesus talks about slaves. The Bible talks about having slaves, and then they went as further as to say that. But who are the slaves? The slaves are people who were savages, people who didn't count. And then they said that who are these people? Oh, the people from Africa. It's okay. We can enslave them because they are of a different race. Race? There's no such thing. Yes, there's a theory that says biologically we are different. There's another race, a black race, and there's a white race, and the white race is the predominant race, and so what they did now, they draw on that particular theory and combined it to come up with their justification for slavery. So they said the Bible talks about having slaves, and then it's okay, fine, but who are these slaves? Oh, biologically, somebody came up with a theory of slave that says, oh, these are people. And so you see how the marriage between science and religion there. Yes, the Bible rubber stamps slave, and then you try to find, okay, so who are these slaves? The people who don't count. And who are these people who don't count? Oh, the black race. The black race, and there's a black race. Yes, because by the 1600s, they pull for this theory. And all of a sudden, people start talking about race, and now people can't get rid of this idea of race, because it is a strategy that helps people to put man in their place, that helps to put people in their proper place, in their position. It helps to continue the status quo. It helps to maintain positions and to continue privilege in society. So those are some of the things I talk about, and we talk about, okay, and you fast forward to today. The reality, what is happening in today's society, is that this continued reality of position and privilege and this abuse, where people who have power think that they are privileged. So the idea of police stems from this whole idea of this racial colonistic idea of some people better than the other and demeaning others. So because you are police, you think then that you have power and you can beat upon people like Tyree Nichols, and you think that you can beat upon on a particular, so even the own black officers are beating upon their own black brothers and sisters, because it is within a white supremacist culture, okay, of the house of thinking in categories. You have the whites, you have the people, you have the white people, and then you have the house slaves, the mulatto, and then you have the people in the fields. And then the house slaves and the whippers used to beat the people in the city. So that still pertains in society, where the closer you are to power, you continue to think in terms of this supremacy, this dominant, where you dominate the other, those beneath you. That is the culture of violence where I talk about that needs to break. We need to break free from that. Police should not think that they have that right, and they have a position to demean a particular set of people who are black, continuing this violence against a race. That is what is going. So I write about that, I talk about that, and and it's quite powerful, and it is quite deep, yes. And I'm working on it.
You know a lot, huh?
Huh?
You know a lot.
When I was younger, I've always, I love knowledge. I love reading.
Wow.
And I'm from Jamaica.
You're from Jamaica.
And I've
my
come.
brother too. I have a brother. She's 40. Oh my God.
Yes.
He knows everything. He said, "Mommy, you have to read."
Yes.
You have to read the story. Some of the things don't wait until people to tell you. You have to know that. I said, what? Wow.
Yes.
How you went the car so far like that?
I did not realize that it was this far. Actually, I did not. I decided to go here because I thought it was closer. One, because when I was looking, I don't know, maybe I've become dyslexic, because when I was looking at when I was looking at the app, it shows two places where I could get the car from, Essington or Westchester Pike. So, and it says Essington was 20 miles and Westchester Pike was 8 miles. I'm like, oh, yeah, but apparently that was not the case. Maybe there was an error with the app, or maybe I was just seeing something else. I don't know, but secondly, the experience at Essington has been awful. The experience, and many people have been complaining about it. The people, as I said to you, the people who work at Essington they're awful. So I said I want a different experience, anyways. So although I knew it was, I realized that it was far. I still decided to go ahead with it because the experience has been quite awful at Essington, and many people have been saying, why don't you go to Westchester? So I'm gonna give it a go there. I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. Oh wow, let's talk about in Jamaica. $1 US is about $37 or $40. Yes, yeah, $1 US is about 140 Jamaican dollars. Yeah. Yes, it's that's how much you get. That's the exchange rate.
Wow.
$1 US gives you 100 and about 37. And probably have to check. Maybe that has changed. I remember when it used to be $60. When $1 US used to be 60. You know. By the way, just so you know, the exchange rate between Haiti and the US dollar, $1 is about 149 to about 149.59 Haitian dollar. So $1 is 149, not 39 as Darline had said. It's $149, and I just checked the facts because I know that can't be accurate. The exchange rate, Haiti's and Jamaica's exchange rate is about the same compared to the US dollars. Let's continue with the conversation. I tell you that the issue of discrimination goes beyond class, goes beyond white and black, because even black people try to dominate another set of people. It's this human nature. So we have to think, so to deal with the problem of race in this world, we have to get rid of race. That's why I said getting rid of discrimination and you have to get rid of race, because when you think, and so on and so forth, because and even with categories, because that's human nature to privilege themselves, or that culture of violence and colonization that extends.
Oh my God. So smart. So smart.
Yes, it's quite interesting.
So when you get the car, you're going to work, no? Tomorrow?
Yes, I am. As soon as I get it, I'm going to work.
You're not going to work a lot.
I've been writing a lot, so I don't know if I'm going to have. So sometimes I really don't have time to do my other gig. But God has been putting a lot on my heart to write. He's been giving me a lot of content. I'm telling you, I give God thanks. A lot of my writing and it comes from God. So it comes from something beyond me. I don't, as much as people think, people think that I'm not, it's all about me. But it's not all, I'm trying to build a brand and to build, the difference. I want people to take me seriously, and for you to be taken seriously, you have to establish yourself. You have to build a reputation. So sometimes you have to talk about what you do and connect so that then eventually people say, I know that's the guy that talked about so on and so forth, and develop your thoughts and so on. But God has been putting a lot in my spirit, and I'm hoping that the world will listen. And I used to be an ordained minister, but because I cannot be limited by a particular ideology, by a particular school of thought, by a particular institution. I eschew institutionalism, because institutionalism is part of society's problem, because institutionalism imposes a particular bent, imposes position and privilege, imposes, on the individual. Yeah, that's why I said to people, the greatest miracle in the world is when we discover the ultimate of all things.
Yeah,
that's the, and what is the ultimate of all things? That we become one with reality in all of our individuality. A recognition of the other. Valuing the other just as much as we value ourselves. Now, as much as people talk about the golden rule, do unto others as much as you want to do. Do unto others as much as you want to do unto yourself. Which means when do unto others as much as you want to do as much as you do unto yourself means a recognition that not the abnormal mind, not a mind that is devoid of a proper understanding of how to treat with the self. Okay? Once you understand how to treat with the self and to value the self and the life that you have, then that has to also extend with how you treat with others. It means you have to appreciate in people and who they are, appreciate their perspectives and their space, and to come. And can I tell you that, and no matter how people may identify that's the people don't respect each other and their space, and the other people still have this level of ethnocentrism in the world. It's just I don't know where. It's just this bias is killing us. I tell you that the issue of discrimination goes beyond class, goes beyond white and black, because even black people try to dominate another set of people. It's this human nature. So we have to think to deal with the problem of race in this world. We have to get rid of race. That's why I said getting rid of discrimination and the child. You have to get rid of race, because when you think, and so on and so forth, because and even with categories, because that's human nature to privilege themselves, or that culture of violence and colonization that extends.
Oh my God. So smart. So smart.
Yes, it's quite interesting.
So when you get the car, you're going to work, no? Tomorrow?
Yes, I am. As soon as I get it, I'm going to work.
You're not going to work a lot.
I've been writing a lot, so I don't know if I'm going to have. So sometimes I really don't have time to do my other gig. But God has been putting a lot on my heart to write. He's been giving me a lot of content. I'm telling you, I give God thanks. A lot of my writing and it comes from God, so it comes from something beyond me. I don't, as much as people think, people think that I'm not, it's all about me. But it's not all, I'm trying to build a brand and to build, the difference. I want people to take me seriously, and for you to be taken seriously, you have to establish yourself, you have to build a reputation. So sometimes you have to talk about what you do and connect to that. Then eventually people say, I know that's the guy that talked about so on and so forth, and develop your thoughts and so on. But God has been putting a lot in my spirit, and I'm hoping that the world will listen. And I used to be an ordained minister, but because I cannot be limited by a particular ideology, by a particular school of thought, by a particular institution, I eschew institutionalism, because institutionalism is part of society's problem. Because institutionalism imposes a particular bent, imposes position and privilege, imposes, on the individual. Yeah, that's why I said to people, the greatest miracle in the world is when we discover the ultimate of all things.
Yeah, that's
That's the, And what is the ultimate of all things? That we become one with reality in all of our individuality. A recognition of the other. valuing the other just as much as we value ourselves. Now, as much as people talk about the golden rule, do unto others as much as you want to do unto others as much as you want to do unto yourself. Which means when do unto others as much as you want to do much as you do unto yourself means a recognition that not the abnormal mind, not a mind that is devoid of a proper understanding of how to treat with the self. Okay? Once you understand how to treat with the self and to value the self and the life that you have, then that has to also extend with how you treat with others. It means you have to appreciate in people and who they are, appreciate their perspectives and their space, and to come. And can I tell you that, and no matter how people may identify that's the people don't respect each other and their space, and the other people still have this level of ethnocentrism in the world. You know, it's just I don't know where. It's just this bias. This bias is killing us. It's killing society, and it's everywhere. It's in the church, it's in politics, it's in economics, it's in everywhere. It's in black culture, it's in white culture, it's in every society, and it's never because it's contained from within the very foundation of the world. If you study the very foundation, and if you talk, and you know, people, as much as people talk about Jesus dying on the cross and giving up his deity, and taking on humanity, in other words, to sacrifice. That's a picture of what it takes for the world to heal. Jesus showed that. All religions show that. If you have Buddhism, talk about becoming one. You know, in Hinduism, they don't necessarily particularly, they talk about how people evolve from oneness to becoming one. This oneness. All religion talks about becoming one. And they don't, and a lot of people, men later come later on to talk about this oneness, to privilege that oneness. Oh no, the oneness is a Buddhist kind of oneness. No, the oneness is kind of a Hindu kind of oneness. No, the oneness is kind of a Christian kind of oneness. No, the oneness is kind of a Muslim one. No, it's the Church of Scientology. No, it's the atheist. No, it's the Rasta. No, it's the everybody, and then everybody competing. When we just know, it's not about the competing. It's the beauty that of our perspective and the ability to come together and live as one, side by side, recognizing that. No, that's the greatest challenge of man. How can man live side by side, given our differences of opinions and perspective? I can tell you. We have to sacrifice. We have to take out the privilege in our perspective. Take out the part that says, my way is the better way. I have the right way. If you don't follow my way, then it leads to do. That is the problem in society. We all have a perspective. Okay? And the problem is, can those perspectives operate in the same space? Yes, they can. But they will not, because of our fallen human nature to privilege ourselves. So because we have that fallen human nature to privilege so as to grab a particular position within a society that we have created based on levels and hierarchies. Because of that, then guess what? We will never be able to achieve the ultimate of all things, which is to live as one within the same space. And guess what? That has built the ultimate of all things. That is the greatest miracle. That is what God, the ultimate, that is what the divine, that's what God, that's what society, that's what everything has points to. But guess what? Nobody sees it, and they develop religions and things and guess what? It will never work, because we just cannot. And that is the issue, and that is why that is why I do what I do, because that's what I'm about. I'm about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges through my communication, which is to make popular what was the monopoly. Okay, what was the monopoly? And I tell you, this message is a good message. Isn't it a good message? What do you think? Don't you think I'm onto something? No, I said, don't you think I'm onto something by saying that? Isn't it something, a good perspective, a good argument I'm presenting?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very good. I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
What a bias? What's a bias? A bias used in this sense is a starting hunch or hypothesis determined by a system of values with which one approaches and seeks to understand social reality. That is taken directly from one of my inspirations, Kenneth B. Clark, who wrote the book Dark Ghetto: Dilemmas of Social Power, published by Harper Torch Books, and that was published in 1965. The book is entitled Dark Ghetto: Dilemmas of Social Power. So when I say I interrupt the normal presentation just to let you know that when I talk about bias, it comes from this from Kenneth B. Clark idea. He says a bias used in this sense, and I'm using it in this sense, is a starting hunch or hypothesis determined by a system of values with which one approaches and seeks to understand social reality. Let's continue. So that's what I studied. That's what I'm about. My book is neoliberal. My first book is Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty, and Resistance, and it's a book that it's critically analyzes Jamaica's economic history, and not just Jamaica's economic history of the world, really, from neoliberal globalization, starting from probably the 1940s, the 1900s. Which that the world speeds towards globalization after World War I and II, coming from the period of colonization and so on and so forth, and looking at the Garveyism and resistance and so on. That first book. This second book is Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered. It's an update of the second book. This book is more a commentary. It's an argument. It's really within philosophical inquiry, which involves argument and discussions I'm having with my professor, Dr. Emeritus Martin Oppenheimer, and also answer some of the questions from my first reflections in the first book, and speaks to this wider issue that I'm about. Yes. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I just actually added a section to my book. I was talking to you, and Thank you for listening to another episode of the Neoliberal Podcast. That was quite powerful and quite interesting and introspective. I talked about the Neoliberal Corporation, and I talk about myself, the host of the show, give you a little bit about me and some books that and my books that is about to come out. Touch on it a little bit, and I have been talking a little bit, but it's much deeper. It's about 70,000 words. It's a volume, but that's set to come out soon. But I will continue to talk to you about it when more news comes out about it. Continue to visit us at www.theneoliberal.com. I have a fresh content. I worked on that website, and it's a lot of material, a lot of information for you. And so please check it out. I have breaking news, commentary, quite a lot of information and materials and resources and links to other projects and worlds for you. So please check it out, and please visit us at anchor.fm/theneoliberal/support to support us, donate to the show. That's the link to donate at anchor.fm/theneoliberal/support, and or you can subscribe for free. We are available on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Radio Public. I think we are also available on Cast, Podvine HQ. Did I say that? And we are also available on thenelliberal.com and RonaldoCMckenzie.com. And by the way, it's Pocket Cast. We're now available on pocketcast.com. And there might be others that we are on that I haven't mentioned. So please, we're available on almost every major stream. Support us. Let us know how we're doing. Send us a link. Send us your audio messages. And we will listen to them, and we can also play some of them on the show for you. We have some breaking news that's available for if you go to my YouTube channel. There's some interviews I did with Mr. John Anthony Castro, who is running for president and has filed a new, fresh, direct suit against Donald Trump. This suit differs from the other one because the other one implicates FEC. This one is directly against Donald Trump, which sets up Castro versus Trump. So we will continue to follow that. And of course, the Federal Reserve have high interest rates, 0.25% interest rates, which represents an incremental increase, which I understand which is unprecedented, and I understand the purpose behind this incremental increase, because it is within the backdrop that they also announced that they are going to more hikes are coming, more increments, so other hikes are coming, but the hikes or the increases in interest rates are going to be incremental, marginal, very small, leading up to a particular point where probably so the intention probably was to give a 2 or 3% increase, but because they don't want to shock the economy, and they don't want to create any uneasiness or unsteadiness, they're trying to avert a recession, and you don't want them to an interest rate up to 3% might do that, but then again, it may also, the incremental increase helps to minimize a more robust increase. So in interest rates, it helps to minimize the effects and the shocks on the most vulnerable in society, because income inequality has been rising since COVID, but the disparities in terms of wealth and so on, there's a huge gap. The gap has become starker. I studied income inequality. I looked at the figures. The Gini coefficient, which studies income inequality, has increased significantly. In addition to poverty, abject poverty. So those are some of the things that there's been massive layoff recently. So of course, the Feds have a responsibility to protect the American economy too, and to ensure that the most vulnerable people are protected as well, I believe. But increasing interest rates also help to those people with money to get richer, because they have an opportunity to park their money in interest rates that provide those huge increases. Increases in interest rate means increase in costs, but the people who have the money, it also they benefit in terms of the gains, the returns that they get on their interest, on their investments or whatever it is. But you can follow the story in the Neoliberal Journals, in the Neoliberal Corporation website magazine, www.theneoliberal.com. You can also go to YouTube, the Neoliberal at Ronaldo McKenzie. There are some fresh videos, some new videos. As you know, I teach Caribbean thought, and I am opening that class to the public. It's a 3-hour class. The last lecture was for 5 hours, which is about conceptualizing Caribbean thought. But what I did was I also did a follow-up podcast to that, which the previous podcast to this one, I believe, was a summary of that 5.5 hour lecture that I gave, conceptualizing the course, which is also foundational to the course, Caribbean Thought. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great evening, a great morning, whatever time it is in the world. Whatever time you are, wherever you are in the world, thank you so much. You're welcome.